the second
Morning,
day
madam.
of the webinar. And before we start, we would like to remind you that you should be better to be in the video mode to give respect to the lecturer and always on the mute. Please mute your device when the lecturing is going on. Okay, so we give the time to Mr. Thomas Sudi. Mr. Thomas, time is yours.
Thank you very much once more. I'm very happy about to be here with you, all of you, and changing some interesting things when we talk about throwing events, specific athletics events, and it's also very nice to what I'm said a couple of minutes before to can make contact, to be on absolutely other side of the world, and can tell you what I know, what my experience during my career, and also as like trainer, as like athlete. So it's really very nice. It's like yesterday I'm started, and I will start again once more. Don't forget, I never will forget when I'm come from, because it was one of the most important thing in my sport life, and whole sport life. Also, my dad was my very first example. He's an Olympic champion in soccer, so it was very hard to compete with him. I always want to be as like him was, as like he was. So even I want to be better than him. And also my sister was a third place in the world championship. Both of them was a goalkeeper. My father was the Hungarian national team goalkeeper, and my sister was the Hungarian national team goalkeeper of the handball team. So it was very competitive. My young age too, I was very involved in sport, but my father was an excellent person and teach me how can do correctly everything what we are doing. If you do something, do as well as possible, and don't never do that just because you like it. Do as well as possible. So that words I want to share with you too. If we are doing something now, especially we talking about throwing events, you need to put a lot of attention what you are doing, what you are saying to your athletes, to your guys, to your girls, what you are teaching, because it will be an impact in their lives. That is one of the most important thing, and also what you are doing with them, it will be impact in the future on their lives. You can give them a lot of opportunity just with your knowledge, and to transmit your knowledge to them. Yesterday I was thinking about what you asked me. And once more, I want to go back just to give you a better answer about what does it mean stretching, or talking about warm-up, because 2 or 3 times we touched this part about the flexibility. Do you remember? If you remember, just hand up, give up your or make your hands. I need touch with you, Ahmed Maha. If you are agree, okay, just did it because I need. It's very difficult by internet, but we can touch, we can see our faces. And yesterday, 2 or 3 times they just asked me about the stretching. To begin with that, what we talked about yesterday, We already knew that important is stretching and flexibility in our health, especially in throwing events. But however, it is not always beneficial to perform stretching exercises, science depending on the moment which we decide to execute them. It is possible that only thing we do is arm ourselves. With other words, we arm and making damaging in ourselves. Until now, the most experts have recommended stretching before training. However, there is no scientific evidence that pre-activity stretches prevent the injuries. They're not one. They just imagining or talking about that. No, not one evidence. Otherwise, in fact, studies show that stretch before training result is a decrease in muscle strength and power. Decrease. It's not higher, it's lower level. Affects motor performances and may even increase the risk of injury too. Why? Many recent studies found that static stretching decreases muscle strength around the joint during muscle contraction, whether they are dynamic or static. Other researches showed that stretching for just 5 minutes decreased the strength, just 5 minutes, decreased the strength and power of thigh muscles fibers for 2 hours. Despite this, many athletes, active people continue to stretch before the training. You know, I'm going a lot of places, parks, gyms, and everywhere, and looking the people who getting in the gym and start to do like this and start to do like this and lift up their legs and just stretching the muscles and like crying them, hey, stop to do it. It will be damages your muscles, and they just what you're thinking, who you are. Come on, man. So that's why I once more I want to touch this part of, because recommendations are simple and more than one will surely like them. Do not do static stretches before weight work and before running or athletic training. In general, never before the activity that requires strength or power. It's okay. Dynamic warm-ups that include a specific moment of muscle groups that will be used in the test of training or during the training more effective and will be not decreases performances. So that is the most and one important thing that you need to do when we talk about stretching and how can we do the warm-up. The warm-up, yesterday I said, and I will to repeat, because that's why we are meeting. We need to talk about the most important aspects, the most important part of the how can we make a training better? How can we doing better? What we can do with our athletes? So the dynamic warm-up, it's a better way. It does not mean that just we starting doing activity at all, a prior general warm-up followed by a more specific warm-up. It is extremely important. So general activity, just it's meaning just to make warm-up, heater our body, increasing the circulation, everything, and then start with the specific part of the warming up. Nor should we forget the joint mobility exercises in the areas involved, but never static stretching. This will always come and obligatory at the end of the season. So maybe if when you finish the training and the muscle is able to be a stretch, then you can do it. If it's not, please, it's absolutely depending the work, because the work was so hard, and maybe we made a strength training with with the hypertrophy training, so then is the muscles are damaged. So there are a lot of fibers you just broke just to make bigger. So it's also we need to take care we using or not stretching after the training. So I understand all of you. Yes. Okay. Okay. As I yesterday I said to you, my coach was a very demanding man and require us to do a rigorous warm-up before all the training, 30 or 40 minutes. And starting with the general warm-up to a specific, and he himself controlled always and give us different warming up tips just to avoid to be bored. Yeah, it's always the same. Yeah, but he said, and don't forget yesterday I said to you, this is your life insurance. This is the you're insured that not be injured. And if we had two training sessions, the day we still did the same amount of warm-ups. As he always said, this is your insurance. I was never really injured, and I am trying to apply the same method with my athletes, and it works. That's why I'm telling to you. The truth is that is proving very positive for more athletes because there are almost not injuries. Mine athletes. That is why I'm saying that you and also recommended doing the same things when executed the warm-up. So with your athletes, it's important, is the part of all of the training. So that's why I'm saying to you, and that part I think it's really clear when we talking about the warming up or when we talking about what does it mean strength or flexibility in our sports. Otherwise, we will talk about once more again, how can we include it in the training too? Okay, let me go ahead. I have some slides, so I will share up with you. There are some very important things that we need to talk today, and I will share up some pages. Okay, I like it. I like it. What we're talking about? We're talking about this material, the idea of performance limiting factors. Yesterday we never touched this, and I don't want to use a lot of time to talk about this, but we have to talk. Different persons have different capacities, and you can you need to maximize that. How? To make studies, to make controls. Relative importance of necessary biomotor abilities for each event. Each event has different abilities. Do you remember when we're talking about javelin throwers? It's like sprinters. They need to sprint fast. The other three events, it's more important to balance and to concentrate the power in the central muscle, in the center of the body. So they need different abilities. Biomotor abilities are performance limiting factors if they are not developed to the necessary level. So we always need to check out their capacities. The biomotor abilities is one of the most important capacities. But never forget, all athletes are individuals and should be treated as individual in all the aspects. We are different. Or finger trips are different. Every person are different, psychological, mental, physical. Maybe it could be as like another one, but it's different. So we can use when we doing training systems a global system, but we can implement. But at least when we work with an athlete, it could be, it must be individual. There are a lot of general exercise what we can improve. There are a lot of exercises doing the same, but you need to decide how much can throw this guy, how many throw has a capacity, the other maybe more. And daily we can change. Maybe if you plan at 10 throws, 15 throws, 20 throws, and today your athlete coming as tired, and he or she need to throw 20 times because coming the very important, the most important competition, and technically the technical skills aren't sufficient well, so need. But this moment you can realize it's impossible because she or he is tired. So why I touch this? Because not just you need to work with individually, as like the biometer or performance limiting factors needed, but also you need to know momently how your athlete is feeling. Okay, are you agree? Because make a plan, just one thing, but doing that plan is another thing. Okay, contributing a limiting factors athletic performance. There is a lot of parts, but we need to. I don't want to explain all of part, but around this, all is involved in athletes, as like coordinative abilities, central nervous system, somatic nervous system, metabolism, the natural speed. It's coming with the individual, biomotor abilities, strength, endurance, flexibility, external conditions, environment, family. Yesterday I talked this part. It's very important to know the possibilities or the external conditions, environment of the family, the coaches, the teachers, also the personality. There are competitors who always afraid before the tournament, have a negative mind, have a negative, but in the focus it's on that. The very last 3 or 4 months, I find out in my athletes, and I'm changing my form to talk to them, just deliver the other form, deliver my words to them with other form. Why? Because I find out they're less and bad focuses. They are focusing not what they need to do. There's a lot of athletes doing that. They focusing just what they not need to do. So do you understand? Not focusing what they have to do well, they're focusing what they not to do. Okay, not make mistakes. They are afraid always to do mistakes, and they focusing in not to make mistakes and not focusing to doing better. So and we start to work this part, and its results are very, very good. I teach them the focusing on the most important things, how they need to do the workout. Okay, Are you agree? Are you understand? Everybody understand it? Okay. Okay, let's. Okay, I like it used just for a few moments before this part is very important, and sometimes we forget to talk about it. It makes Günther, but I like it just for this. All athletes are individuals and should be treated as individuals in all aspects. Also, yesterday we uh, talked about the strength training, and I want to come back once more and to clear something. Look, dear sirs, I don't want to get too involved in strength training because we can start an argument that will lead to arguments and misunderstanding between all of us. Why? Because the development of the strength of each individual is different and possibly due to the general abilities, age, sex, it's completely different. The branch of throwing, what where they practice are different. The anthropometric differences and up the objective may be different. For that reason, only play in a global and recommended way, and I will give you some explains what using during my career and I am using with my students often. Today, the World Athletic established a new forms in the use of weights in the throwing events, even in the youth category too. So which forces the coaches to carry out an analysis in the work systems. Today, we can more calmly see the positive side of the use of the light implements in the early starts of survey that achieve a high technical levels and the preservation of better health for the future athletes. Don't forget, when I was young, when I was 17, we start with decathlon, and I'm used the 7 kilos shot put and the 2 kilos discus. And when I was 16, I just ran over a hurdles, the 91 centimeters, and immediately I need to change the 107. So it was so great the difference after 5 kilo implements to throw with the 7 kilos, and after 1.5 using a 2 kilos. So it's create a lot of problems. That's why I'm very happy the World Athletic implements a different way to increase the gradually increase the weight of the implements. So it's very nice too. And I'm so sorry in my age wasn't used it, your age too. So and I remember very well. I was a very good discus thrower too, but I I remember very well which complicated was for me, especially shot put. Do you remember yesterday what I said in the European Championship when I was 18? The very first two throw was foul, just because for me was it's very difficult to handle a 7 kilos shot. I was just 18. I haven't sufficiently strong to deliver the good technique. So and I made otherwise making my very best, but it was really really difficult. So about the strength training, we will touch the part, but I don't want to involve it because there are so many important part of weight training. So we will talk about generally, and I will give you examples, but don't ask specific because it could be important for you, but not the other one. So if you are working with girls, the major part of my athletes are women. Okay, so I also has men throwers too, but if he wants to talk about mostly my importance is how we develop a woman's training in throwing events, you know. So I don't want to do it to waste time for that. Okay. Yes. So how we can planning. So this part, what I'm talking about, is strength training. Okay. Let me develop this part. Okay. I need to share. Okay, Fujimori. Let me see. Planning strength and power session. The major influences of strength and power: genetic, mechanics, coaching effectiveness, the technique that we're developing with training, external factors, weather, track surface, strength and power, underpin speed. This is the general, but look at how many things you need to care. Okay, when we are talking about planning, we also need to know and where in the year, in general, in specific, or in the competence. There are three different and the most important part of the year planning training. The general part, there is a specific part before competition, and there is a competition part. It's completely different, the planning of the strength and different part of. And also it's very different if we are working with a young athlete or is a young woman, or if we are talking about a peak performance athlete who traveling around the world and competing in different high level events. Because in a very young age, just we have one peak. In the youth, maybe two. And the high performance, we can do it even 3 peaks too. So it's very difficult to talk about. Just why I talking to you. Let me talk in general terms. Okay. So the major influences are these. Okay. Strength training. There are parts like muscle strength, muscle bulk, hypertrophy, and the strength endurance. Yesterday we touched this part, and under that is the power. It's performance fast and explosively with light load. Terminology. There are a lot of terminologies. Absolutely. Once more, there are general terms, but it's very individual. Okay. Type of strength training. Maximal strength. It is the base of our power. Yes. And also the reactive strength, what is very important in throwing events. Okay. What does it mean, maximal strength? Volume, hypertrophy, and now the new wave, that we call new wave, try to avoid the hypertrophy, the big hypertrophy, because you need to move with this weight in your body. And when your body is heavier, you need more power to move that. So what is the best way? Everybody's logic, absolutely. The best way is increase your power and your reactive strength, but not increase your hypertrophy. Are you agree? Everybody know what I'm talking, yes?
Yes.
Increase your power, the reactive strength, also your maximal strength, but not with hypertrophy. because hypertrophy means extra weight. Okay, so I will show you a guy, and also just to make more dynamic our class. I like this man. I met with him several times. I'm passing with them in the training camps, and I will show you some exercises what you can use only. You can find it YouTube too. But why I'm using that? Because to do more dynamic or presentation, and also how we can make more rich our knowledge in training. So let me see. I will stop this share, and I start to share another things. Okay. Can you see? Can you see?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
This is
Yes, we can.
Andreas Torkinson. Why I'm starting with this? Because one of the most important, not only in javelin thrower, so one of the most important things is the ability of the throwers. They must be very able and very good shape in every case, in every side. They need to move as like a sprinter, as like an athlete. Not all, because I know very well the shot put is different. But look at this ability. This is Andreas Torkinson. We're talking about a man who throws a lot of times over 90 meters. Doing exercise as like a hurdler. And we can enjoy it. Higher and higher, improve faster and more power, changing directions, and okay. Look at it's like playing just a very lightweight, but it's also developing different capacities. Not only just to weight, when you're using weight, and weight can improve. It could be just better ways, maybe with a better technique, maybe working on the flexibility using lighter implements, or just to teach them a better and correct movement, reaction force. It's also developing the different kind of force, different kind of strength. Look at using both of his hand. It's also very important thing. I will stop it. It's also very important to work with both of their hands. Sometimes we are hurried. We haven't enough time because have a different kind of work. But believe me, you need to teach them just once, and they will do it using both of hands, both of sides. they're doing a lot of skills just to make perfections at different weights. Can you see what he's doing? It's incredible. Doing absolutely otherwise. Up. Just to look at his body. You can see on her on his body a full developed muscles. You can see if somebody met with him, who can think this is a guy javelin thrower over 90 meters. Incredible. So what I'm showing you, because the capacities is all capacities, is not just when you see a guy with a lot of involved body as like a bodybuilder. It could be a simple man as like him, a well developed. Look at his body. But his capacities are excellent. Flexibility, using all the muscles that he has. Flexibility, the shoulders. One of the most important things to develop the thrower's hips. You know, not just the sprinters need strong hips. Even 10 times more important to get a strong and well-developed and well-flexible hips, the throwers. A lot of throwers, not all the throwing events involve the hips very strongly. So that's why these exercises are so perfect, so important. We are doing every day with every athlete. We never stop to do that. It's like the warm-up, part of the warm-up is your insurance, believe me. It's help you to making better and concrete movement. That is great. I love it. As you can hear. Also called me attention. He is not so well hurdles, but doing very well. In my athlete, the javelin thrower who is on the photo or seminar or even Victor is a very good hurdler. There is another Paraguayan javelin thrower who has a South American record, also a very good hurdler. Why? Because one of the most complicated movement in throwing events is javelin throw. I love it. I don't want to tell you not. I don't want to lie. I love it. It's a very, very good exercise just to understand and make a better timing, a good concentration, a very good flexibility, and also a very good technical skill. Using and developing our athlete. Jumps, it's a part. Increase just okay. Throwing ahead, over the head, in front, behind of us. Also sprints must be. Do you know, everybody knows the javelin thrower, the Czech javelin thrower who has a world record, Zelezny. I saw Zelezny make a training section like 10 times 150 meters. It's a sprinter training, but he has done, and not one. It was in the general training part, but 10 times 150. I never saw before. This guy was an athlete, as like him, has a body as like a sprinter, as like this guy. So it's not so easy to find the guy as like them, but it could be an example how we can work with our athlete. Multiple jumps. Okay, guys, what for? Why are we using multiple jumps, or what for using? Who can give me an answer? Increasing what?
Reactive strength.
Yes, excellent. Also help us to get a better power. Very good. Okay. All right. So and go on, throwing with the medicine balls. Look at it. Just a couple of minutes we can see, but we can enjoy how many different type of exercises they are improving in the training section. I want to be this place. This is incredible. It's a grass track and field stadium. Incredible. Once I had a chance. Look at how developed this guy. Look at the strength. Wow, incredible. I really like it. Okay, let me stop this. Okay. So let me come back on our slide. Okay, go back. Weight training. Let's still talk about weight training. There is no reason why weight training should not be introduced to a prepubescent child, as long as technique is the main consideration, not the actual amount of weight lifted. The well-qualified and experienced coach closely supervises. So we need to do that. When we working with young athletes, the technical aspect is more and most important. Do you remember the slide yesterday when I'm put before which is the most important part of young throwers, or all of the throwers? And I also the very first part I told the technical technical effort, the technical level. One of the most important. This is the very first thing what we need to teach, and then when he has, we can make increase the muscles, but we need to teach always these muscles to move it as fast as possible and as well as possible. Okay, so the weight training and the young athlete there is no reason why weight training should not be introduced. We can do it, but we need to use the appropriate weights. It's depending what we saw on a couple of minutes before on the screen, the biological age and the biological possibility of the athlete. So when we talking about free weight, the free weights can develop better than the machine. But the very first start when we make to develop strength, maybe we can use machines just about the correct position, using correct position just to teach the correct way of the movement, and they even have a sense we can do it with free weights implements. Are you agree? Especially in young athletes who has not enough strength just to deliver with a good technique some movement, maybe just pushing up to work with the shoulder strength, with bench. Okay, so we can use free weights or we can use machines, but to develop high-level athletes, the free weights there are the better way. Okay. This is what we talk about: free weights versus machine weights. Safe to use? Yes. Functional posture control required. Just only the free weights, not the machine. There's a lot of things that machine can give you, but you can use it if you have not other way. But you can use it. But look at functional stabilizing muscle required. Functional three-dimensional movement you can do with machine. Functional movement biomechanically similar to events in athletes. Okay, loadings can be manipulated appropriately. So the free weights give you a lot of opportunity to develop your athlete. Don't forget, I never want to forget to tell you about functional training to develop the most part of the capacity of your athlete. Doing as like Tabata, doing as like heat training with weights too. It's a very good conditional training in the general part of the training of the year, but we can use it also in the specific part, even in the competition part. I'm talking about the training who involves all the body of the athlete. So, and this is the functional training. The functional training could be just to develop speed, movement, agility. It could be force too. It could be all the mix of that. So we used it, and it's a very good form to use with free weights. Basic lifts. The weight training, the most important part for develop an athlete, a thrower especially, when we're using Olympic weightlifting system, like guide, like you know very well, using a multi-jointed and sequential training, like throw these lifts involve all body areas. There are exercises used in weight training programs and develop explosive power, the basic weight training. They are initiated from the ground, the same as the throwing events, or maybe could be put on some bench and you started to lift up the weight from there. It's depending absolutely which part of the body or which kind of force you want to work. That's why I want to make to put in a lot of attention, just part because it's so deep and we can lost in it. So that's why we're talking about basically what we need. Okay. This is a snatch. To work with this, you know, when I was young, I had to do that because I didn't like that. So I need to tell the truth. I didn't like that. But when our companies developed better than me, so I started to take it with more efficiently using weightlifting and it really help us to develop uh, a great force, a great power, and a great reacting strength. This is the other one, the clean, heavier than the before. And otherwise, you can other common exercises like jack, bench press, squats, step ups, languages. Just develop different kind of muscles, but the major are for the legs. But we are looking bench press not because it's developing our chest and the muscle of the bench. Jacks also the upper body, but squats, step ups, lunges involve completely the legs. So, but these exercises everybody knows. The jerk is it's one of the very important exercise. Just timing. It's very close the movement of some throwing game, because you need to put attention. How can you do the exercise just to and in the part of seconds to move this high rate, and that's what's happening also in throwing events. So one of the good exercise, but the snatch also, the clean also, and also the jerk can help us to develop the power, reacting force in athletics. Bench press, everybody know this. The step ups. So there are exercises. After we will talk about the rehabilitation, it isn't so important right now. So let me show you another thing. During the exercises, I'm find out the guys. We need to avoid the psychological stress. What does it mean, psychological stress? Psychological stress is when you are just working, and there is no variability in the training. Have you seen that guy, this Torkinson? How many different exercises doing just to build up in the same skills, the same capacities. So how many different exercises we using, and we can use it. The throwing is throwing. We can throw a lot of things. Let me see what what these guys are doing. Let me see this. I will share with you. Look at. Can you see? Hola. Can you see, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
You know, I'm started it with not now, like two decades before. We started to play. There is an hotel in Asunción on the riverside. It's a very nice hotel. It was the owner was one of my best friends. The owner, the Nike Paraguay, and I asked him. I want to show you a very nice play, and we start to play on the beach on the beach of the river, and he really enjoyed it. And also, I'm always doing. We did it in Hungary like decades before, and everywhere. So it's incredible how can you increase the different kind of capacity. Look at, develop a lot of things, and it also they enjoying, they playing. They teach them a lot of things to do with this, not just simply training or throwing training. It is endurance training too. Look at how the bodies are working and moving using a SAD that is increase the force also and take care with the joints of our legs. It's incredible. I love it. I like it so much. What do you mean? Do you like it? Are you agree?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Let me see the other one. Another one. Okay. And also we can do another superfice. We using also a bouncing. Okay, so did you hear what he talked about? How can we develop a different kind of forces? When we're talking about strength training, we need to know a lot of things. How can we develop that? So one of the kindly way, or very nice way, just playing, let them play with an implement, and they doing with with a very good sense, and they are very happy because they are just feeling they are playing. But it's not the truth. The truth is they are working just like an animal. They throwing this ball, working using all the body and developing a different skills, different kind of movements, and also developing different joints just to make sure it will be super and very strong. So I love it, and I call you just to use. Did you hear what he said? Excuse me. Did you hear what he said? And do you know? You know, it's developer reactions, reactive force, because you just catch the ball, but in the same movement, you start to move and start to the reaction force. You can develop a very well this with this play. So you don't hear when the guy talking in the video. No one can hear it.
No, it is the voice not to hear.
Okay. They are performing a little performances with throwing the ball. The other very important benefit using this system, this training system, just playing with different throwing or using the ball, is develop the strength of the core. One of the most important thing in throwing events to well developed core system. So you can use it. Look at how many times they just using their cores. when impact, when they receiving the ball, it's impact the whole body, and you can using a different kinds of strength. How we call the strength when we are breaking the force? Who can tell me? When we are working against the force, how can tell me which forces? Reactive, it's a concentrate, or what? Who?
Absorption of force.
Which kind of forces? When we are receiving an implement who has a weight and we need to stop it. When we're working against the weight, how can it say? How do the people say? Which kind of forces?
Reactive strength.
No.
Reactive strength.
Yeah, we developing reactive strength, but there is another word I'm looking for. One is the concentrate, and the other is
Breaking force.
eccentric force. We're using eccentric force, and the eccentric force is developing the very best way our force. Believe me, everybody using now that eccentric force. We're using a lot of eccentric force just throwing this ball. And what is the most important part? To develop the whole body, every part of our body. I love it. I love it. These exercises are so grateful. Okay, what we can give more with this? They can improve, they can feel how this movement can impact his whole body and can help them to develop a lot of systems in the same time: timing, force, reactive force, force of the middle of the body. There's a lot of things in it, so I love to use it. Not I can tell you all the day we're doing that, but one or twice a week we're using, and we're using also in tennis field with a bouncy ball, as like a tennis. Just throwing the ball, the ball must. Yeah. The ball must to hit the field, and then you can catch it, and where you are need to throw back. So it also a very interesting play, and develop a lot of things in your body. Okay, let me go back. Okay, strength training. In the very last two videos, we saw how we can develop reactive strength, the power. So when we are doing planning, it could be the part of the develop of the power, not just throwing implements a simple way. We can do it this way too. Are you agree? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Will you do? Are you using it? It's very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me talk about the loading, the maximum strength training. They are lows, so we need to know that how many percentage and how many repetitions you need to do. Requirement training, the intensity. So they are low, you can find it everywhere, but we need to talk about that. It's also, we need to talk, it's different in sex. The man's has higher level power than the woman's has, and it's different, the volume, but they are moving, but the percentage and the repetitions are the same. Loading and power training. The power training involves when we are recruiting, the intensity is very high, slow repetitions, and the sets are 4 and 6. But the rest is, this is the most important thing. Why? Because we are using creatine phosphate and especially ATP, and the body need to rebuild that, refund that. Once more, you need to put in our muscles to can use once more. You know, one time a specialist told me, Thomas, when you are working with strength or speed, and you do it with the maximal capacity and take sufficient time to recover, so then you can use again a 97%, because it's impossible the 100% one more, because you use the part. And then when you do other repetition, other sets, you can recover again, but 97% again. And when you a well-developed, I'm talking about a well-developed athletes, and again 97 and again 97. So when you get into the 4 or 6 sets, truly you can use just a 90, 89, 90%. What when you started the training. Do you understand what I mean? Every set you can use, next set 97, but 97, that 97 what used it before, and then again 97 that used it before. I talking about a well-developed athletes. Everybody knowing what I mean? Hello? Okay. So then I submax loading, 50, 60, the high speed repetition, no repetition, 6, 8, and maximum velocity in each repetition. So this is it is mostly to the reaction force, to the power. So we developed with the systems. Then how can we strength and power training? Exercise maybe. General, it's depend absolutely on which part we are. Look at, I will show you, I will share you a year planning, plan what I'm using here. So can you see? Guys?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Yes,
All
we
right.
can see.
We are in June. Look at,
Yes,
I
we
will
can see.
traduce you May, June. Everybody, Junior is June. Okay, they are the days of the months. There are the weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. This is the microcycle. We are looking for the World Championship, sub 20, South American Championship, sub 20, Pan American Championship. Okay, they are the charges. So when we're talking about which charge we're using to develop the force, also we need to take care and which part of the year we are, and what is the most important thing what we need to develop. This is the charge. And they are the training. Every day we changing. I'm using the new system when they teach me in 2 years before. Mr. Günther Lange teach me a system of 3 days, 6 days, and the 9-day system. And it works. It's like incredible how it works. I'm so happy to start to use this new system. Every day are different. The most charged day, the very first day. Maybe you can do it high quantity throws with a high load weight training, and the next day the charge is a little bit shorter, less. Two trainings daily. Maybe in the morning doing a technical part, and afternoon to work on in the middle of the body or other skills. And the third day is the recovery day. It may be just a training, a general endurance, or maybe a training just psychological, or maybe just talk about throwing events. How can we relate the next day? Maybe planification, maybe tactical or tactical, and do once more high level, high charge training. Then the next, and coming the competition. In this day, it will be the South American under 20 championships. So in 2 weeks, and I have 3 athletes who will compete on this competition. One is thrower, the other 2 are sprinters. That is the same. Throwing or sprinting, they're using power, reactive force, they are using speed. So it's the same. And the charge is completely different. These are 3-day charge. They are daily charge. Okay. So why I'm showing you, because when you are make a planning, even just a one day planning, you need to know what and what for you will work, and which kind of methods really use, which exercises will you to put in this section. Everybody understanding? So this is your guide. You need to use it. Look at, it's a lot of work to do. I tell you, it's not so easy, because I did it really before. It's day by day I work it on. So it's not so easy to do. I just want to share with you to show you how I'm working. I'm thinking before months. It's like everybody doing that. And I planning day by day the charge. How can help or at least develop the better form. Okay, even with this work, we have a lot of things to meet, to make crashes. It's there's a lot of things to take care. So let's go back. When we planning the strength, we need to know which part of the year we are. It's a general part, which strength we are working. A specific part, exercises designed to closely simulate actual throwing moment. As a mixture, the general or specific, or it's or just a specific when we are before the competition, as we are facing to coming the under 20 South American Championship, and it's very important for me. Very important because I have 3 young athletes, and they are really new. They took them from the other sport, and I need to show not just to our athletes, to the other to their family what they can do. So it's so important. Okay. Let me see when we talking planning strength. Specific exercises should be predominated in the pre-competition and competition phases, especially with athletes in a specialization and performance stage of athlete development. So we need to know the planning of the strengths. There are general, we can use it with younger athletes and not so performance athletes. A mixture of general and specific exercise should be used when the part of the year we working on before, but we also can use it in the competition time too. How? It just to makes a relax and a very light day. A general training. There is no important movement. Just generally, just keep on moving the body and maybe doing a relax or recovery. It's a general word. Okay. General exercises should be included for athletes in the early stage of athlete development and for all during the general preparation phase. So when you have enough knowledge, you know what time and what you need to do. So that's it. Okay, let me touch this general guideline. Remember, the main objective is to improve throwing potential. So we need to work on it. Training is not just limited to legs, it's overall body strength. The whole your body you need to work. And that's what I show you by internet. The guy throwing this the ball it's very good. Everybody like it. And you doing a lot of words playing. And that's the way to make more grateful to training. The program should be individual issues, the athlete's strengths and weakness. We started today this part. It must be individual issue. So it's not just a group of. You need to take care every one of them. Strength training is part of the training program through the year. Everybody know that, especially in throwing. Number of sessions, number of type of exercises, the volume and the intensity will vary according. I will show you the second part after the break. I will show you in the training section day by day how I'm improving. Heavy loads at an early age with experienced athletes should be avoided. Inexperienced in athletes. So I saw guys, 70 years guys, it was so strong, it was so excellent. It could be a very good thrower. And I see him to train with another trainer and just sent him to make with another guy to make an exercise, and without ask him, just to see, because looks as strong as and buffalo, they start to make a lift up and broke some part of undeveloped joint on her back and stop for whole life to make a sportman. So never do it, please. Take care. They are the most important implements in your life. Your athletes, there must be the more important things. You need to think in your lives, in your development completely. we have a lot of how can you say that word? We are okay. Doesn't matter. I will talk about more. But when responsibly, we are so responsible about the life of our athletes and to develop our athletes. The develop is not just physically, psychological things too. We need to teach. We need to talk to them. We need to give all the best of our knowledge. So that's why I said always we need to know a lot of things. We must be a father, as like a father of them. And I felt when my trainer was with me, I felt as like my father is with me because he was my second father. Okay. How many number of sessions of strength we can do? It's absolutely depending the part of the year, the main work what we have to do. And once more again, the quality is most important than the quantity. Not it's how many times you need to do, but the way how you're doing, that is the most important thing. It's not just throwing events, it's every branch of athletic events. It's so important the way how you're doing that. When we talking about the way, we always talking the technical skills, the technical part of this. Okay, because the coordination, how we doing that? Because behind this movement there is a human being, and this human being have a capacities, and we have to know that capacities, how he can improve, that we want to teach. Don't forget, we're not only teaching movement, we are teaching feelings. Because when you talking about, you need to do something that way, I'm always saying, and you have to feel something like this. Are you agree or not? Guys?
Yes.
Okay. You have to feel, and that feeling. And when our athletes did it well, so you call attention. Have you felt? What have you done? Try to find once more this feeling. Try to do it that way to feel once more the same. And once more, and once more. That is the good way. So now, the very first and very important part of the teaching is talking about what we have to do. Then showing, if you can show that, that's a better way. If you're not, you need to call somebody who can show the movement or the exercise coming, the better form. And then we need to make feedback, okay, when he has done that. And then we need to make the correction. So, and during the corrections, and when he finished the make this movement, so then we have to call always the attention what they need to feel. Okay. So I'm talking. Please stop me if you're very bored. But I think I'm talking a lot of things that is important for you. Eh? Okay. But let me know. Even you don't like it, I love to talk. Okay. Okay, Mr. Thomas, just fine. Sujit, Sam. What are the best exercise to improve reactive strength? Throwing lighter implements like medicine balls. Yeah, everything who can to improve a fast movement in the correct way. It could be lighter implements, maybe it's the correct implements, or like medicine balls, or it could be a kettlebell, it could be just a disc, and you can realize a movement with a high speed. It can help you to increase your reactive strength. Are you agree, Sujit?
Yes, coach. Yeah, I got it. In the previous video also you showed some. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
good. I'm so happy. So I have for a guy. All right. So the heavy loads we need to avoid, because the heavy loads coming with the slower movement. And slower movement, it's not for just to make the fast and to increase your reaction power. Okay, heavy loads could be develop other skills. Okay. Once again, as you have seen on the screen, the quality that counts, not the volume. Okay, it's not if you can planning 30 throwing, and you can find after 15 your athlete can realize the correct way the movement. So you need to stop it. It's just a plan. Don't worry about that. And start planning once more. You can realize maybe it's 30 throws is too much. The next training, you have to plan maximum 20 or 15. So that's the way. And don't worry about that. The most important thing, the quality of the training, not the volume. Never, don't worry about it. And just, but you need to remember what happened, which guy, what has done, how they finished the training, your reactions of, and then when the training finished, make a little speech in with him, just like a feedback. How you felt after 15 throws? I felt completely down. I can't move enough fast. So then you have to think and change your planning. Okay, but he maybe said, I can't realize well the movement, but you asked me. It could be the other fact. It could be psychological part, maybe some diseases or something like that. You need to look at for. So when we are planning the once more strength and power sessions, there's a lot of cases you need to take, as like when in the year, what for, why we are doing, with whom we working. It's a performance athlete, it's a young athlete. So that's why I said the very first time in the seminar today, we are at the strength technique because we can start an argument that will lead to arguments and misunderstanding between all of us. So that's why I'm just stopping and using the slide of WA, because I love it. I like it and help a lot. Variety. The variety is just avoid the continuity and bad work. Variety is essential. It's very important. and proper training, the body becomes less responsive if you're using the same weight on the same exercises. The rate can be achieved by changing the load, changing the place included, changing the type of muscular contraction required. Maybe you can use the same exercises, and if you changing that the place, once in that gym, the other way, the other gym, did with the other guys, and he will, the people, the athletes will feel different, right? But you know very well, you need to work in the same thing, but you have to change something, and maybe it could be the place. And this is also the part of the variety. Changing the load, changing the type of the muscular contraction required, the velocity of the contraction. It could be isometric, it could be concentric, eccentric. One more about eccentric. We started in communism, we started work with eccentric, but the very first time in the 70s and 80s, we use it more concentric, less isometric and eccentric. But now we're using a lot of isometric and a lot of eccentric training. Concentric training mostly just to build up or develop the maximum strength. And but we're also using eccentric too, just to go down slowly with the vein and come up faster. And if we're using a high loads, we're doing maximum 1 or 2 repetitions. Okay, and that's the way now they're working the most part of the sprinters and also throwers. And I'm also start to work in this way, and it works very well. Changing it's just it's very special of mine. It's not a law, so don't use just I'm talking because I need to talk. So I need to tell you I'm using that, and it works. Isometric, changing the speed of muscular contraction is also to the part of the variety, and change the stimulus exercises. It could be the bench press, increases, decreases, a normal bench press, or almost just the shoulders, changing the varying the different exercises. It's also must be the part of this. Examples of different forms of execution. For example, making exercises from the floor, then from bench, then in front of your hip. So they can use it and improve it. Different exercises. It could be the same, but shorter way to move and faster, using faster the muscles, or with different weights. Bench press, just for example, remember, classic pronated grip with shoulders wide, flexion and extension. Then there is a bodybuilding bench press, uses slow movement with a light weight, like 50% the maximum range. Disco specific, it's wider. I did it a lot, with grip wider than shoulder. Shot put specific, closer than shoulders, because they pushing the implements very near to the neck. So they're using a closer plyometric, throw and catch the bar, just throwing up and receiving the bar, both of it using 2 different forces. Okay. Exertion, as many repetitions as possible. We almost never use it, and for example, for a high level athletes, almost never doing less than 2 or 3 weeks, not more, in the very first part of the general training. So submaximal flexion at 110, 1 RM, extension 80 RM, 1 RM. So it's mostly they using when they developing in the competition phase. So it's just for an example how many ways you can use it the same exercise. Then strength and power training during the whole year. So we always using, especially in throwing events. This is the most and the major part of the thrower. It could be strength and have a nice power. Okay, so with the general preparation phase, then we using the maintains second half of special preparation phase. As often 2 or 3 times a week we need to use. Later on, I will show you in my planning, the weekly planning or day planning, how we improve it. And then general strength, weight training, heavy implement throws, medicine ball throws. What can we do and how can we do? So have you seen and everybody know what does it mean in the general part of the session of the training or the yearly training. General preparation phase, we using including when we're doing hypertrophy. General preparation phase is the period of the year to establish the base for the rest of the year. Everybody know that. Okay, I don't want to talk a lot of things about it because it's volume based, maximum strength, general body strengthening, so involve the whole body exercises. When we getting in the specific, the speed is higher, continue weight general body strength, but move from the based intensity based recruitment training to more specific power training exercises to try to link weight training with plyometrics. Now we're starting to do plyometrics. Plyometrics could be with implements, and but mostly we're using the legs. It's like jumping, bouncing, but also throwing after jumping and bouncing. Okay, we will see on videos. Strength and power training is the competition period. We forget just a big weights, or we are doing with big weights, high weights, heavy weights. We're using just very few repetitions, and with the high intensity, we're doing with the high intensity, with the high speed, using high and very high loads, except with inexperienced athletes. The inexperienced athletes, we're never using that. We're using always what? The technical skills. That is the most important thing. Okay, it's typical how many reps, which kind of exercises. This is a slide we can mention, but it's mostly everybody of you knows it. If not, just let me know that. Recommended exercises: half squats, full squats, fast squat, split, clean, snatch, jerk, calf raises, and bench press, pull over, especially for javelin. But this pull over, I need to call your attention. It's absolutely involved the flexibility of the joint, of the shoulders, of the upper body. So you need to take care, just improve this exercise if you are not sure your athlete have a capacity and the ability to do this exercise in the well way. If not, you can kill this guy easily. Okay, don't forget what I'm saying now, because this is the base. You have to know the capacities and the abilities of your athlete completely. And you need to improve, just exercise it, what you are sure can do and the well and the best and the better technique way. Okay, everybody is early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Order of exercises. Wow, wow, wow. There are a lot of misunderstanding in this case. The way how can we improve, which is the very first and which is the next. It's mostly depending the capacity of the athletes, but when we are talking a guy who has a well-developed and in every case is a high-level athlete, so exercise is requiring high skill level. So what I mean should be done on the beginning of the session. Which one? Power, speed. This is the very first part. And then the general snatch before squat. Obviously, exercise should be ordered to work different muscle groups alternatively. Legs and then arms. Okay, don't forget, if you have the to want to make a photo, this is the law. You can change that. This is the law. You must improve this way as on the screen. This is very, very important. There are a lot of ugly and stupid trainer. They doing a lot of exercise before strength and power training, and then they send them to work in the gym with the legs who has no capacities more to work, and they just broken the muscles of them. So I saw a lot of trainers to misunderstand what does it mean to build up an athlete, misunderstand and applicating unwell form the training session, and starting with the general exercises. They killing with a lot of stroke, they killing with a lot of movement, and then send them in the gym to start with jerk or start with snatch, and they have no more capacities because they're using before all the energy outside. Yesterday I said, and I once more need to say to you, when we are training, guys, we are training capacities. Capacities. In behind these capacities, there are energy. And we need to use that energy, but he used it before as like the most important things for speed, like ATP, or use the what is means sweet? I forget the word. Sweets. High carbohydrates, they deliver it from carbohydrates and used it before getting in the gym. So there is no possibility to do the correct training session if you used it for other movement. Okay, everybody understand what I'm meaning?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Thomas.
So, all right. So let we make a little break, like 15 minutes. Okay, it was very long and very heavy, the very first part. Hopefully everybody understood what I'm saying and what I want to deliver to you. Okay, so can we do a 15 minutes stop? I will try to drink coffee.
Sure,
Just
sure.
keep me
Sure.
on.
So we will be back. Okay, no problem. So we will be back 11:05.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, everybody, we have 15 minutes break.
Okay.